Welcome to On the Chain.
Thrown over. So I'm pulling up a John Deaton tweet. John Deaton. Then we'll go into the other one. But so John Deaton was saying more evidence that this motion is the biggest one in the case. Like I said, what is the likelihood that one person in a 63 email chain back in 2018, while XRP and ETH were battling for the number 2 spot, replied, "What about XRP?" Yeah, I mean, so, and he's kind of commenting on James Filan, and he said, XRP community SEC v Ripple XRP, the SEC files letter claiming Judge Torres's ruling on the motions to dismiss makes SEC internal documents, including the Hinman emails and the Estabrook notes, irrelevant, and that the SEC should not have to disclose them. Chip, are you still here, at least in audio?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just trying to figure this out.
But. Yeah. So what do you think? So the SEC making this claim, right, that the fact that Judge Torres ruling on the motion to dismiss makes the SEC internal documents, including the Hinman emails and the Estabrook notes, irrelevant, and the SEC should not have to disclose them. Is this
a Hail Mary? That's what
it is. A Hail Mary. But here's the question that I have. You know, the SEC is put in place to protect retail investors. The SEC is put in place to help and facilitate corporations navigate. At what point did the SEC get put in place to win a lawsuit at all costs, including trying to bury evidence that's pertinent to the case?
Well, I mean, if you had a really strong case, you would just go to it. You'd get right to it. They don't have a strong case. They are in Panicville because they lost, because they did not strike the fair notice. And everybody keeps saying, well, the Howey test. Well, good luck. They have to go in there and prove all 4 prongs of it. I mean, you hear Gary Gensler only reference one. And they're going to just try to delay. And if you saw in that interview with the John Deaton interviewed Jeremy Kaufman of Library, he said it. His advice would be hide as much as you can. Don't be open. Do not be transparent. Don't go in there and talk to them. They're gonna nail you and hammer you. And that's sad. That's a sad thing, but that's the reality of what we're dealing with here.
Yep. That's it. That is it. So some of the commentary here, James was saying Ripple will get an opportunity to respond. Magistrate Judge Nepern won't decide either motion without hearing from the defendants. And here I like this here, you know, XRP Crypto Wolf. At what point does Judge Torres put her foot down and do something about the huge amount of disrespect the SEC keeps showing her? And then
Brian Monarch.
Brian Monarch. There he is.
Here on the chain.
We had him here. And go check out onthechain.io. Go to interviews, and you'll see an interview with comedian Brian Monarch,
who does all those deep fakes of Gary Gensler that were awesome.
Exactly. Have you ever seen an organization make it more obvious that there are really bad things in a sealed document before?
Don't look at hey, don't go. It's like, hey, you know what? You can come in and search my house. Just don't look in that closet. Wait, what? Yeah, you can check out the don't look in that closet. Wait, what? don't look in there. No, just
whatever you do.
What's in there? Nothing. Can I look in there? No.
So, Crypto Ditto said the balls of this agency is messed up. Here, you have a government regulating agency who's inferior to the judicial system that informs the judiciary that its decisions are irrelevant. What at WTF? SEC is not bound by court or judicial pronouncement. America, you got a messed up system.
True.
Look at that.
I vote for all of the above, Jeff. Correct.
And it is true where, you know, you have this agency like, yeah, we're not going to.
It's messed up.
We're not responding. we're gonna do what we want, and you got nothing to say about it.
Well, that's
And
what was so shocking in that interview with John Deaton when he had Jeremy Kaufman, by the way, also on the chain. But you know what I find interesting about that, Jeff, is the whole thing to me. If they say come on in, it's almost like you walk in, there's a tripwire, an anvil comes at your head, and it's like the Wile E. Coyote, the Roadrunner. Come on in and talk to us about what? I mean, Ripple's been talking to them every single move they've made for the last 8 years, and they're like, you know what? Well, we've been in. I know we've had them in our offices, but just thinking it might be a security job. And the other thing that bothers me a lot is Jay Clayton out there, like he's on all these TV shows, like he alone is the king of crypto. Like he's like, well, I mean, dude, you were chair for 3.5 years. You bailed early because I don't know, because you got to go get your job back. You got to work at One River, but he's like the arbiter of all things crypto, and it's disturbing because every single interview he gave that smug look. We'll decide if it's a security. Well, can you tell us about it? We'll talk if it's a security, and if it is, we'll prosecute them. I know, but we're just can you comment on this? We can't comment on any coins. I mean, he was smug, and now he's on the TV shows with that weird hair of his, and he's just such a weirdo. I don't know. The whole thing is upside down. It's like, can you imagine, Jeff? You go to MIT to teach about crypto only so you can make that next jump to the chair of the SEC to go prosecute crypto. That makes no sense. The other flip around is if you're chair Clayton, you sit there and you hammer. He didn't go after stuff, but he didn't. He was ineffective. He didn't inaction. I would say. Right.
Didn't do anything until the last moment.
Right, but then throw drop the lawsuit and then go run over to One River and this one and that one and hit him in and Simpson Thatcher everything.
It would be insulting if it weren't so absurd.
Well, that's solid cover right there. It would be if it wasn't sort of,
what is up, DNI? Way over there in Thailand.
Government equals unlimited funding. Yeah, it does. But you know what? When you bring up the Saudis, yeah, I mean when the U.S. was taken off the gold standard in 1971, the whole idea behind it was there was too many speculators, and everyone's like, okay, because everyone's sleeping, no one's paying attention, no one's taking their fiat and converting it to gold at that time. So everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense. Well, then massive inflation set in, and it's like we're living through the 70s all over again with the mass inflation, except it's super noticeable now as it was then. And guess what? We never returned to that. So they cut a deal with the Saudis saying that all petrol oil would be purchased with the US dollar, become the reserve currency. And that was supposed to be the savior thing. Now you got the Saudis going, well, go ahead. I mean, go if you want, go use the yuan. I mean, that's what's starting to happen is everything's going to uncouple, and we'll see what ends up winning in the end. But you can't continue to print. In the last 3 years, they printed tens of trillions of dollars. It's ridiculous. I think it's only $12 trillion. It's ridiculous in just the last 3 years alone.
That's why.
But Jeff, somebody brought up a good point. Somebody brought up a good point in one of these forums. They said, well, hey, wait a minute. If you can just print the money, why are we paying taxes?
That's exactly.
What are we paying taxes for, Jeff? I mean, if you can just print the money, it's like to keep everybody in line with the hook.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Why are we paying taxes?
We're gonna tax your crypto. Well, just
you're gonna tax my crypto. You're gonna
make your own.
Just remember, governments don't make anything; they just take everything. That's it. It doesn't matter what government. It doesn't matter what form of government. It's always the same in the end.
Bad.
It's always bad, Jeff.
Always bad. One eye Willie. If Ripple wins, I hope the SEC pays back all that money. And
that would be a nice funny
turnaround.
Pay SEC owes $30 million in legal fees, plus the hardship fees to all the XRP holders.
Yeah, and about $1 trillion. I would say a couple billion. Who knows what the losses were to over this period of time? All those. That'd be good. Payback.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.